relate law with mathematics. Can you please elaborate that?
I'll tell you. First of all, understand what is the concept of mathematics. Mathematics is called a branch of subject where concepts of predictability is writ large in it. Because 1 plus 1 means universally it will remain 2 for everybody.
Two. Yes.
Right? Same way, law is also a concept premised on this principle that it will always be
Same.
universally same for everybody. Otherwise, we would not have changed from a jungle system to civil system. The first premise is this.
Yes.
Jungle Raj, might is right. Kuch bhi kar sakta hai. But that is not the concept in the civil system.
Civilization.
In civilization, civility premised on the concepts of predictability, that is the orderly elements, right?
Yes.
So law is synonymous with the orderly elements. That's what I link is with that of the mathematics.
Yes.
And as I told you earlier also, input is like in mathematics. Input is equal to output. Like if you give 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So input, there is a set of two facts, 1 and 1. You are adding them, summation of these two factors leading to an output that is 2. This is also true in the law. That is precisely the reason why the 1.5 billion population or 8 billion population of the world is being run. Otherwise, it is chaotic for everybody.
Yes.
Right? It will be like atomic, the travel of the neutron and protons. I mean, they also follow the path in an orderly element. That is why we call it the science physics, quantum physics. Yes. So my point is, law is actually mathematics in the sense that it is always predictable. But that predictability means the output as a predictability depends upon the input. Now, input means the two elements work together to get the output, like a set of facts of yours, unique to you.
So, criminal case re पुलिस रो रोल टा केमती थाए काहे ना आमे गोटे जस्ट देखिले गोटे आरुषि तलवार रो गोटे मर्डर हेतला जोतरे कि तार केस सॉल्व ही परलानी जते बड़ लॉयर हेले जहा भी हेले तो पुलिस रो रिस्पांसिबिलिटी टा केते इंपोर्टेंस रखे एक्चुअली गोटे गिल्टी गोटे लोक को गिल्टी करिया पे किबा फ्री करिया पे
In a civil matter, two parties will fight. So they will fight tooth and nail because they will control their outcome. A party will fight against B. A will appoint his lawyer. B will appoint his lawyer. A party will have his own document. B party will have his document. So they will be, both of them will be controlling their own interest. Mm-hmm. Unlike in criminal matter is what? Now it is an offense against the state. So therefore, the victim will not appoint a lawyer. It's the state who will appoint a lawyer. So therefore, a third party comes in. The moment there is a third party comes in, the level of intensity goes down. ଆପଣ ନିଜ କେସଟାକୁ ଯେତେ honestly and sincerely କରିବେ ଗୋଟେ third party presentation କେମିତି ହେବ? Right? So same way, the police is an agency which or enforcement agencies, they will undertake an investigation to unearth the facts. If it is a documentary offense, there are documents available. You don't need investigation. But if they are intangible offense like a rape, murder, these are the intangible offense. Mm-hmm. You need evidence. Now, it depends upon the quality of the investigation. Quality of investigator means competency. Right?
Yes. The government lawyers are really avoiding or not doing their work properly.
You see, even the evidence may not. You see, the lawyer will come in picture when there is a evidence is there. If the evidence is not collected properly, or shoddy investigation was done, inadequate investigation is done. So based on the evidence, the police will be navigating.
Yes.
So police will give that evidence. Prosecutor, the lawyers will navigate on that. If the evidence is not adequately collected, so what do you expect the government prosecutor will run on? So it is always a problem in our country that police is having huge power, but police is really not doing their job properly. Besides, the nature of the offences has gone completely. Our CRPC was 1973, which is an identical provision of 1800 CRPC, and the BNSS, which has come as a new law, Bharatiya Nyaya Sakshya Samhita 2023. That law is nothing but CRPC's copy replica. So that means, in other words, even though we call it as a 2023 law, but it is actually 1800 law.
लॉयर मान भितर अकाउंटेबिलिटी कमी रोचे कि कारण जी हिसाब से कारण पैसा लोभर प्राय सबू लॉयर जेकोसी क्लाइंट आसिले क्या फेरांदी जे नाई नहीं मुझे करदेवी ये करदेवी किंतु से पुणी सेठी हारे कि नेक्स्ट आउ गोटे कोर्ट को जी सेठी भी हारे तो लोक मैंने गोटे पैसा एक्सट्राक्ट कर गोटे गोटे फर्मुला हो जाइए कि निज प्रति निज बिजनेस निज प्रोफेशन प्रति से रहुनी से जी रहा कथा इंटेंशन कि भल इंटेंशन से लोक हैरान कर ना कौन जोटा आम कह लॉ ऑफ अकाउंट लैक ऑफ अकाउंटेबिलिटी आज्ञा
there is a huge systemic problem we have. It is not only the problem with the lawyers, it is also problem with the litigants. There is a lack of information, transparency, and there is also a lack of medium to evaluate lawyers. And economic status. These all contribute to this problem. It is not a one factor centric problem. Accountability, like for example, as I tell you, when I take a case, I evaluate 100%, 360 degree, and for that also, I ask for a fee to tell that whether I can win or I cannot, whether a particular deserving outcome is possible or not. I need a thorough examination. It cannot be shallow. It has to be 360 degree and 100%. Right? For that, you need a lot of resources.
Yes.
But when it comes to a litigant, he would expect you to tell it just like that. Because he doesn't want to spend that amount of money. He says that, okay, after you read it and form your opinion, suppose you don't want to take it. Because you say that, I am not going to win it, or a deserving outcome is not possible. Then you will not take my case, say, I will be losing that amount of money. But he doesn't realize. It amounts to actually saving his huge amount of time. He would have run after the mirage for a decade or two, hoping that someday he will get a outcome which is not legally plausible. So we do not have an ecosystem for the purpose of also to educate the litigant that you don't have to continue litigating endlessly without knowing. So there has to be an information. So there is no incentive for the lawyers also. For example, a new lawyer is coming in, he doesn't have a brief. He is being forced, tempted to take all kinds of, all and sundry matters. There is no incentive for him to say no. And top of that, our bar council, it has its guidelines saying that, and many lawyers would tell you that they would say that no, we are being told that we cannot refuse any case, without realizing that that doesn't mean that is something which you can't win. You can't keep continuing burdening the courts, extract money from this the aggrieved, and that is an exploitation also.
Yes.
And they are also losing faith and the trust in the institution as a whole. A 100-year-old law is being foisted on us, saying that, oh, you cannot refuse to take up. But that is not the meaning of the language. I have also read it. I am also telling them, I am also doing all kinds of efforts to form an opinion and then say that, no, for this reason I cannot win it. Please, why you unnecessarily pursue and burden the system? And why do I have to take a matter which I know that I can't win? Because I have also a limitation of 24 hours. But I am able to do it because I have a range of matters. Imagine I would not have, a brief at all.
Yes.
And I'm a hungry man. I have to fill my belly.
Yes.
Perhaps today's ethical elements which I'm talking about, maybe, I don't know. But yes, it is a temperamental issue. Different person behave differently at different time.
Yes.
I will not change that. I can say this in that difficult time also, but I don't expect everybody to do that.
Yes.
So it is not a professional centric. It is a whole host of issues. And a lawyer is consuming huge amount of time because of also the number of legislations where, as I told you, एक issue, 6 laws are applicable to it.
Yes.
And there are spider's web, one element attached somewhere else. How do you do that unless you do that kind of a deep reading and understanding research? You can't otherwise do it in a shallow manner.
Yes.
Do you have that range? Whether a client gives you that option? But they don't want. They say that, okay, I want a result. So it's a problem from all sides. We need a complete clean slate approach now. Legislation, practice, jurisprudence, concepts, every way we can change it. It's possible. I'm willing. I mean, like when income tax came in the 2025, I told few industrialists saying that a 819, can you imagine? 816 sections Income Tax Act 1961, 816, and the rules together they're running into 2000 pages.
2000 pages.
Yeah. Now imagine.
And you have to read all those.
Nobody reads it. But that's the very irony. If you don't read it, you don't understand the interplay.
Yes.
You may appear to be only 2-3 sections is good enough for you, but there would be possibility that some of the other elements which you are missing out. That's where you don't achieve the 360 degree. Therefore, you leave it to the Ram Bharose.
Yes.
So, I suggested that why don't India will have an income tax as a completely new concept of income tax in 60 sections. Possible. And I am looking forward to designing these kind of laws, next generation of laws. And I am telling you, these are game changer. This is just possible. It's just that people should be alighted to this possibility, and the policymakers should come in. And the problem is that if you go to the government, penny wise pound foolish. They would not reward your money because there are, before the government, all the people are available for free. But there is nothing called free lunch, right?
Yes.
So that is exactly the reason of all malgovernance. So a person like me, I've never worked for the government, not because I don't want to, but I know that they would not be able to afford me or value me. That doesn't mean that I don't respect my country. I don't. My heart always bleeds for it, you can see that. I've developed the concepts.
Yes.
It is for the larger public interest. I call it as a micro action, macro impact. Means, individual case, I'll drive. I'll get the result anyway for that matter. But the driving would be for a far larger macro impact. It will create, tranquility in the jurisprudential scale. Means, one driven action with a multifaceted effect. That's my contribution to the system and society. Even if I'm not being engaged by the government, so be it. But individually I'm able to do it. And that perhaps is my contribution to the system and the society. And for your information, I must tell you that all these cases that I've handled, I try to finish at one stroke. Means at one forum. Yes. All my endeavors are there to make it so simple.
And you make it in the High Court or in Supreme Court?
Because High Court, sometimes High Court is appellate court, sometimes High Court is a read court, which is the original side court, sometimes, mostly I appear in the High Courts and the Supreme Court. And of course a lot of tribunals and all. And trial court, when there is a matter which requires intricate questions which I have invented something, jurisprudentially, I give it to my colleagues, otherwise I also go for argument sometimes. But I have no hesitation in appearing in any particular court. I don't have fixation on anything. As a lawyer, we are the servant of our courts. So any courts should not be a problem for us. At the end of the day, the result is dependent upon the error at the first stage. If at the first stage an error creeps in, it has a far-reaching consequences. So by and large, my always endeavor has been to take up the threshold stage, at the beginning stage. that makes that case errorless, and predictability comes from there.
It's really good to know about the things that we have discussed, that the problems and the real solutions must you have tell us. And then let's wind up the session. Thank you so much, sir. आमे बहुत कथा आपन जानिलु आमे चाहूछु आपन भी जो जिंस जाक कहिले सेटा केमती इंप्लीमेंट हबा एटा आपन बहुत भल से जानि छंती ताको भी आपन इंप्लीमेंट करंतु. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर विथ अस.
Thank you.
नमस्कार.